Gisele Bundchen is a force to be reckoned with. One half of the world's most famous power couple. And the epitome of glamour. Gisele has been one of the world's top supermodels for 20 years, appearing on the covers of over 1,200 magazines. And starring in ads for luxurious companies like Dolce & Gabbana.
Hey, she's the one.
But the Gisele we know, the beautiful fashionista, she says did not always exist.
I don't think y'all have enough cars.
We joined her in her home in Boston, where she discussed her candid new book, Lessons, My Path to a Meaningful Life, which is out today.
You never really thought about being a model, but it was a wonderful opportunity, and you took every opportunity.
I was 14 years old, so well, thinking I was very grown up at 14 years old, I was like, of course I'm gonna move out of my parents' house and go make a living for myself. I'm already 14, I'm so old. I know everything. I was 5'10" at 14, you know, and I was like so awkward, feeling
so you were
like
one of those that would slump on.
And everyone was already making fun of me. You know, it was a surprise to me when someone looked at me in the mall and they're like, hey, do you wanna be a model? I'm like, Mom! Like, you know, I felt really early that if I was me, Gisele, you know, and this was Gisele, the model, then it was very easy for me because I could go there and I could be very objective. It was very simple. It was a character I was playing.
As a top model in high demand, working 350 days a year, Gisele found herself bowing to the enormous pressure.
It is so hard to believe where you are now, that in your 20s, there was a time that you had panic attacks.
It started all in a little plane. You know, I was in Costa Rica and I was flying a 6-seater plane. And the plane started shaking like a little leaf. I mean, I was like completely sense of powerless, you know? And I'm a person who always likes to kind of have things under control. That was definitely out of control moment. And it kind of started this kind of fear of being in small spaces. So it started with a little plane ride, but then it became like tunnels, subways, elevators. I mean, I lived in the 9th floor in an apartment. I would go up 9 floors of stairs because I was scared that I would like suffocate. I mean, it was crazy. Like my world just kept getting smaller and smaller. I was in the hamster wheel going at 500 miles an hour. You know, being as a model, I saw so many girls come and go. So I'm just gonna say yes to everything and live the life in such a fast pace, really like running myself to that point of creating that anxiety attack.
Her crippling anxiety attacks would lead to one of the most challenging moments in Gisele's life, the moment she considered jumping off the 9th floor of her New York City apartment building.
You know?
And you said at one point when you were in that apartment on the 9th floor that you went out on the balcony. And what was going through your mind?
Well, because, sorry. Sorry. God. That moment when I was standing there and I had to start like living like this was very hard because life was, it was like I was trapped and I couldn't breathe even outside of my own balcony. So I feel that that I wanted to share that to show others that might going through similar experience that there is the light at the end of the tunnel. And from that moment on, you know, I realized that my life needed to change.
That change came when she began prioritizing her health and what she put into her body, taking up yoga and meditation.
And when meditation came into my life, you know, everything became clear because I was going such a fast pace and everything stopped. I was able to notice and see a lot of different things that I never was aware of. You know, first that my body was my temple, and what was I putting in my body, and what was I doing to myself?
Because you were drinking coffee, a pack of cigarettes.
Every day, because
wine.
It was the only time I was breathing, actually. Because, you know, it was the only time I would actually breathe.
Her marriage to New England Patriots quarterback Tom Brady was a turning point.
I've always wanted to be a mom. I've always wanted to have a family. And that was, you know, when I became a mother, it really became my priority.
It was a different pace than her former jet-setting model life, but one she fully embraced.
I just wanted to be with my kids. When I thought about something, I thought about my kids, I was like, I want to be with them.
Becoming a mother to Benny and Vivian and stepmother to Tom's son Jack changed her life in unexpected ways. She took a deliberate step back from modeling to focus on her family and support her husband's NFL career.
I just wanted so much to be there for my children and to be there for my husband too, you know, because for him to have the space to leave what he loves so much. And I was actually leaving what I love so much, which is being a mom and a nurturer and taking care of my family. It was just very different.
She often shares personal moments of the happy family on Instagram, with Tom's calming presence a key part of their relationship.
So he has that kind of cool and collected thing about him. He's just very, like, you know, grounded. And I feel like, you know, I'm very emotional and very changeable and, you know, like, just me. But what I've learned from him is to kind of take a breath.
The superstar couple's life together has often been the subject of intense scrutiny, with near constant speculation over Tom's eventual retirement from football.
You also put to rest in the book because, you know, Tom has talked about his retirement. It's a big subject, especially here in the Boston area. And he kind of said, I'll play 5 more years, and you had said some other things. But in the book, you kind of said, what will be, will be.
Yes, because when you love someone, you want them to be happy.
Brady on third.
At 41, Brady is showing no signs of stopping, as seen in his most recent game against the Miami Dolphins. Part of Tom's enduring success, the couple's healthy lifestyle, one filled with plant-based foods.
What is this fascination that the public has with you and Tom, your eating habits?
I don't know.
What is that about?
I don't know. I love food. And I think, you know, I really think food is, let thy food be your medicine, you know?
It's a belief that Gisele takes seriously, picking vegetables and fruits with her children from her own garden. By revealing her own struggles, Gisele hopes that she can share life lessons she's learned along the way, including the most important one of them all.
What we all are is light, and what we all are is love. And if you remember that, besides of our stories, if you can connect to that, and then if you take anything from the book, is just live your life with love.
For Nightline, I'm Robin Roberts in Boston.
And we should say all proceeds from Bundchen's book will go to a Brazil-based nonprofit committed to improving water sustainability.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.